Hello, this is Maddie Heckman, Head of Real Estate Content here at Markets Group, and I'm joined today by Jasmine Nazari, Chief Operating Officer at Urban Green Investments. Jasmine, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Maddie.
So, Jasmine, tell us, what are your most contrarian thoughts on the real estate industry today?
Great question. I would have to say that a lot of talk has been happening about the $3 trillion of debt, some of which is CMBS, some of which is not, how all of this is projected to create large ripples of change and opportunities for capital. I think that what we're going to be seeing is actually a little bit of a kind of an unprecedented reset where it's not going to be, fires that need to be put out left and right. It's going to be very subtle lowercase d. A lot of transaction, lowercase d for distress. It's going to be transactions that are either happening in the secondary market, stuff that are happening kind of behind the scenes, a little bit more subtle, a little more sophisticated, without all the flash.
Okay. Now, what would you say is the most compelling thing that you've learned today thus far?
I think that what I've heard today is the opportunities available, and it's certainly made me very, very present to the fact that what's instead of large distress, it's going to be opportunity for very selective and strategic gap capital, not rescue capital, not white knight capital, but just kind of like a gap capital. And that's going to be an opportunity for people who want to roll their sleeves up, get to know a specific asset, support lenders in their forbearance arrangements, kind of step in a very hands-on way. I think that's an opportunity available.
Okay, and then how are you discerning whether or not to pursue a new development or new allocation?
Yes, great. We want to be hearing from banks. That's how we decide. Unfortunately, when we're pulling comps these days, Urban Green, we always like to be at the bottom of the comp stack. When you're looking at comps and you're like, how did this group buy this one? We want to be that group, and that's very hard to do when transaction levels have fallen 60, 50, 80% in some, as we've heard today. What an amazing conference, by the way. I've learned, so my book is full of notes. Thank you. And yeah, so in terms of discernment, how do we decide when the lender calls?
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Jasmine. We appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the event.